What's going on, crypto miners, and welcome back to the channel. I'm down here at Mining Disrupt in Texas, and I want to find out what industry leaders are recommending for new miners stepping into the space in 2026.
If you're coming into home mining in 2026, I think it's a great time. You're not too late. There's still time to learn. There's so many amazing products out there, these little home solo miners, just to get you involved in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. And I highly recommend that you at least get started there. You're not gonna make a fortune, but you're gonna learn and you're gonna get involved, and the years will roll on and you'll be very thankful that you did. Additionally with that, there are some great options for home script mining. You're talking Litecoin and Dogecoin cryptocurrencies that you can, based on your electric rate, still turn a profit. So if you wanna spend a little bit more, have a little bit more power to use, those are gonna be great options as well. But when I got into crypto, I thought I was too late all those years ago. It is never too late. You are always welcome. You have amazing people to learn from, and that is being part of this amazing community. So don't wait, get started. Don't overthink it. Find something that you love, maybe a YouTube video you saw, get it going, learn, and get involved. So just get going.
So if you're looking to get started in crypto mining, I'm gonna specifically go towards Bitcoin miner because I'm a maxi, but you know, if you're looking to get into Bitcoin mining, the first thing that I would say is get yourself a BitAxe. These one chip, single terahash miners are a great way to start. They're a great education piece and they're fun to talk about. Now, if you want to scale into something a little bit bigger than a BitAxe on your desk, I do recommend hash rate heating. If you're heating your house with electric and heat, it's always pretty simple to get an S19, retrofit it to work off of a standard 120 volt power supply, and use that as your heater instead of your HVAC machine. Because if you're already paying for electricity to heat your house, you can use a Bitcoin miner and get a small rebate from the heat that you're already using for your house. So those are two really great ways for anybody to get into Bitcoin mining at a small scale.
Hundreds of hours of education. If you're going to deploy real capital into Bitcoin mining, you should start with a significant amount of research. What I would recommend is finding trusted voices and then learning from them over a period of time. There's a phrase, DYOR, do your own research, and it's the truth. So get out there and become self-educated, and then don't be afraid to ask questions. Bitcoin is a very welcoming community where if you're coming at it authentically and you have questions, everyone in this industry wants to be transparent and give you that information. So learn as much as you can on your own and then ask a bunch of questions. Baby steps is a good way. You can get started with mining Bitcoin in a lot of places with just one Bitcoin miner, and that's what I would do. Just dip your toes, self-educate, and meet a lot of friends.
Well, I mean, YouTube University is I'm on YouTube. The guy behind the camera is on YouTube, and we put out, content that helps people like that. And there's a whole bunch of other people like us who do that. So, freely educating yourself on YouTube University would be the first step. And then the second step is a baby step into the world. When I started, I went all in and I made a bunch of terrible mistakes, and I spent way too much money, and I had no idea what I was doing, and my electric bill was exploding, and I had all these expenses, and I used credit cards and all kinds of stuff like that. And while I am grateful for that experience and where it has led me today, I do wish that maybe, just maybe, I had baby stepped my way, but a very small little device, small little home miner, or in the case of this cycle that we're in, a DEPIN device, something that I can dip my toes into the world, learn how this all works, learn how I'm going to make a little bit extra money with these devices, and then without a huge budget expenditure, add a second one or a third one and just kind of gradually grow, because growing slowly and not with leverage or other mistakes is far, far better than going all in on something you do not understand.
Special thanks to today's video sponsor, Crypto Miner Bros. Crypto Miner Bros has been one of the top ASIC resellers in the industry since 2018, specializing in crypto mining hardware for not just professionals, but also home mining enthusiasts. Some of my favorite professional ASICs include the Bitmain Antminer L9 Dogecoin miner and the brand new Bitmain Antminer S21 XP Bitcoin miner. For home miners, I love the new Volkminer D1 Mini, the AlphaPex DG Home 1, the iPolo V2X Ethereum Classic miner, and finally, the Canaan Avalon Nano 3S Solo Bitcoin miner. Crypto Miner Bros makes the checkout process easy for new miners looking to make their first purchase by not only accepting wire transfers, but also some of the more popular cryptocurrencies as a form of payment, like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin, and USDT. Save an additional $70 per ASIC miner with special checkout discount code, The Hobbyist Miner. Need a safe, reliable, and trusted reseller to purchase your next ASIC miner from? Look no further than CryptoMinerBros.com.
Well, as a crypto miner myself, one of the biggest things is, first of all, what are you going to do with this machine? What's your ultimate goal, and what's your long-term thought? When you're mining, it's not about instant returns. Most of the time, most people don't see a return for over a year on ROI. So a lot of people are thinking, oh, this is a magic money printer. And it can be, depending on the coin you're using, but mostly what time frame you're using it at. Right now, Bitcoin, 99,000, 100,000, people are suffering. But when people were mining when it was 20,000, this must be a great time for them. So really, it's about long-term want. What exactly are you looking for with that timeline, and how long are you willing to deal with the pressure, either when the times are good or bad? So, as someone who mines, I used to mine with a lot of Bitcoin machines. Right now, I'm mining with a lot of script machines. I decided to purchase 5 script machines, which did the same, if not more, than 10 Bitcoin machines. I use less power, convert over my Dogecoin, Litecoin into Bitcoin using the right pool. I use NiceHash, F2 pool, BABTC, whatever. And that's my long-term play. It's consistent stacking of Bitcoin, because I know that's where things are gonna go, but also making sure that I know that I'm using the right machines doing it. So long-term process, thinking exactly where are you going to put these machines, where are they going to make sense. Some people think, oh, over here in this country, it costs 2 cents, 4 cents, 5 cents to mine, right? But in Texas, it's 7 to 10 cents. Oh, that's scary. But in reality, a lot of people kind of lose out on a lot of potential. They can get their products stolen. The country can all of a sudden change their opinion on everything, and boom, you're out of luck. The timeline that you set out, the ROI period, gets destroyed. Whereas if you come to a Texas, for example, for a better known company where you pay a little bit more, things change. Also, if you already live in a state where things are cheaper, you can just take advantage of that. So always knowing where you're going to be for the long term is ultimately what will make or break mining for you.
So if you are a new miner in 2026, or somebody that may have quite a bit of capital and something that you want to put into to be able to grow a potential other revenue stream, definitely start with education. Do your research. Don't get caught up in the shiny new whatever is happening. Make sure that you are doing your research on not only the company, the machines, the things that you're doing, because this is a lot of money, but also you might check into hosting, because hosting can help when you have, the average in the United States is 10 cents per kilowatt hour, and most hosting companies start below that. And it might be an option that gives that hands off, that, you don't want to be pulling down and repairing your own miner. You don't want to be doing all that maintenance. You don't have the space for that. So check out hosting, see if that's something that would work for you, and allow them to give you that white glove, hands-off experience that you wouldn't have to do setting up a shed and doing all of that up front.
I would probably start small. Educate yourself on YouTube, go to conferences like Mining Disrupt, get to know people face to face, but starting small, I mean like with a bit axe at the house, learn the whole pool, learn how to connect the miner on, and learn the basics. Mining is not for everybody, and I would hate for somebody to spend a lot of money jumping in head first, and then you crack your head open for no reason. So start off small, work your way up to an S19 or an S21, and if you still feel comfortable at that level, then you can look at hosting facilities and move up to 50 miners if the capital is there for you. But I recommend for anybody new in the space, especially from residential miners, to start off small. If you're a commercial miner and you got capital, then obviously conferences is a way to go for you to meet people. And when you're talking with that much money, yeah, you have to meet face to face for that. But for residential miners, start off small. And I recommend Solo Satoshi. They have some awesome miners that can get you started. And they have a great team also that can get you educated on how to do things with it.
Get started small. Don't expect to be profitable. Expect to have fun, tinker around, and learn something new. And know that you're mining for a greater purpose. Know that when you get started, You might not know everything, but it's the first stepping stone to becoming something greater and learning as time goes on. Have fun with it, enjoy it, and do what you love.
Start off small. Start off small, start off cheap. I'd say start off with like a bit axe, $100 miner. See if that's something you want to get into long term. It'll teach you how to set the miner up, how to work with the pulls and all that, and then slowly grow your hash rate and decide if you want to be a solo miner or if you really want to invest and actually earn some passive crypto. You know, it's a big investment and you need to really do all your research up front. And that's why I say start off small. It's so easier to start off small and grow your farm. You need to make sure it's something you want to do for the long term.
If you're starting at home, doing home mining, I would look into what you need. Are you trying to fill a space for heat? Do you want something on your desk? If you want something on your desk, like this is low wattage, low entry. We have this stock setting 2.4, push up 3.5 to 4 terahash. You want to probably start small and then grow. I think a lot of people think, let's go into industrial miners. You don't need that. Let's just start with home mining. If you don't know what you're doing, start with something you can learn on. This is the Gecko SGT. This is something small to learn on. If you want a heater or something like that for the space, start small. Just look at what your actual needs are and research that and go from there. Don't worry about the fanciest, biggest thing right now. Just learn the equipment.
What's up, guys? It's Crypto Mikkel. Best advice I can give for you for new miners of 2020-25 is, well, going to be do some research. Figure out what your power rates are, if you have any other options available, maybe even hosting, and figure out what you can do to best maximize like your investment that you put in, right? I don't so much look at machines as like an ROI standpoint. It's a long-term investment. Can I regain that investment? Can I X that, 2X that investment, 3X? Kind of do that math, do that research before you pull any triggers. And, don't be, too quick to pull a trigger just because of a price spike, price dip, or certain coins just pumping in price. Because by the time you may get that machine, that math is no longer going to be valid. So just do your research, check it out. We'll see y'all next time.
Absolutely. So as a new miner coming to the space, a lot of the things you're going to be needing to look at is your power rates. Are you going to be mining at home, or are you looking to find a hosting provider? Are you investing in a group that's going to kind of take you into the enterprise scale? So that's going to be your first question to answer is, what is your investment going to look like? How much do you want to put into equipment? And that's going to decide if you're doing something like a BitAxe or an Avalon Q or a home miner, and then what your profitability is going to look like. Now, one of the biggest mistakes I see people getting into mining say is, what's my ROI? When am I going to get paid back? And I recommend look at it a different way. Don't look at when you're going to get paid back, and look at it more of, what am I willing to invest to have future gains? Am I willing to put $2,000 into a high-powered home miner and pay the $30 or $40 a month in electricity to stack my coin now and hold it for the long term? Or do I want to have my miner and sell my coin to pay my power every month? My personal opinion is stack your coin, hold it. When you're doing home mining, the minimal cost of running a 120 volt home miner is worth the personal investment out of your earnings, your wages, your fiat to stack your coin and grow for the long run. Now, when you're looking at hosting providers, there's an ample opportunity where you can jump into that enterprise scale. And that may be a place where you're looking at a $300 or $400 a month power bill, depending on your miner, but you're generating $700, $800, $900 a month in revenue. That's where you may see, do I need to sell coin, or can I float that on my own? If you can float it on your own, do it for sure. If you can't, sell what you need to pay your hosting bill. And depending on the pool you use, some of our partners like PowerPool, you can segment out and say, I want 40% of my revenue in USDC, and then you send it straight to your pool to pay your bills, and then you can stack your other coins. So it's an ample opportunity. The best time to get into mining is yesterday, so don't wait for 2027.
Yeah, there's so many different approaches, right? So do you want to start to get Bitcoin? Do you want to just get educated? Do you want to make this as an investment? There's different approaches, and if you're trying to learn, start mining, just get into it, I would obviously suggest NiceHash. It's very simple. You download the software. If you have a GPU at home, then it's way more easier. You don't have to invest anything. Download the software, run it, and you're already earning Bitcoins. If you're more like a Bitcoin max, you're trying to support the network even more, then maybe some solo miner is a good way to start. For example, BitX, Nerd Miner, that kind of stuff. But if you're trying to do an investment, then I think some hosting companies like Simple Mining, Compass Mining are a good starting point, because you don't have to have any expertise with the mining, but you can simply invest, give them some funds, they will set up the miner for you, and you will earn the rewards from them.
I would say start very small. Starts with something that you can afford, that you're saying, hey, I have $100, I want to put this toward a BitX, or I want to put this towards something that can teach me the base level of how pools work, how mining works in general, what the network is, what block height means, what difficulty means, all these basic concepts that, from a small perspective, can teach you about the whole network, but in 5 to 10 minutes. Then you can take that and you can, expand all throughout the network, but you don't have a large commitment into it already. So you don't have to have a node. You don't have to have, anything beyond just something small like a BitX. You could even mine from your own computer. But if you start small, then you know exactly how much you like it, and you don't have to have this big expenditure up front. So just don't go too crazy, but find someone you trust, find a content creator you trust, find somebody who you've met who has their own devices, and ask them how they started and what their regrets were up front, or what they wish they would have done differently, and you'll learn plenty up front.
The best way to get started with crypto mining is to just start. Everybody is hesitant about starting. They don't know how to start, but you're only going to learn by actually starting and doing it and figuring out what works for you, what your goals are, and what you want to accomplish. You can always grow and scale over time, but if you grow or if you start too fast, there's a lot of pitfalls and downfalls that you can run into. And without starting slow, you won't know those things until you actually come across them. So start with something small home mining device, plug it in your office, your bedroom, learn how to mine, learn how to set a pool, learn how to set up a wallet, learn how to stack sats, learn how to exchange those sats for dollars if you need to pay for power bill in the future. Learn how everything works. Then scale out. You can either build out infrastructure at your place or go with a recommended host. Purchase a machine and send it to the hosting facility. Just the best piece of advice is just starting. A lot of people don't start because they're nervous. They don't know what they're getting into, and you're not gonna know until you actually start mining.
Yeah, that's a great question. For somebody that's just starting out in mining, there's a lot to consider. First of all, you don't want to get scammed, so don't just buy your miners from anybody, right? You got to have a trusted source. Great place to learn really is on Telegram, YouTube as well. There's a lot of people out there with videos, video channels, and you can learn a lot. But Telegram's a great resource. So I'd say soak it in, learn as much as you can. Really, people say if you spend 100 hours studying something, right, you can start to become an expert. Can't remember what it is, maybe 1,000 hours. Do that with Bitcoin, right? The deeper you get into Bitcoin, the deeper the rabbit hole goes, and the more experience you're gonna get. So getting into mining, I'd say start small, maybe even as small as a BitX, right? You can plug in one of these little 1 terahash miners and start to figure it out, learn it for yourself, use it as an educational tool, and then just kind of ramp it up from there. So our company, Bitcoin Mining World, is really more focused on the industrial side. So we teach people how to build industrial mining farms, but it really all starts with understanding how Bitcoin mining works in the first place.
That was absolutely insane. 20 tips in 20 minutes for new miners stepping into this space in 2026. Let's recap a little bit. First off, the biggest one I heard there, educate yourself. Take the time to do your research and learn as much as you can. To be honest with you, before I went ahead and even purchased my first piece of hardware, I spent 6 months learning about crypto mining. Now, the scene was very different over 5 years ago, than what it is now, and there is boatloads of information out there that you can learn from. Second, start small. I counted. Start small was mentioned over 25 times through all of those individuals. And what does that tell you? Don't rush into things. Don't have profitability in mind. Don't have these big miners in mind and trying to get rich. Start small. Don't overextend yourself and learn from that small miner. Mentioned a number of times was a very inexpensive miner, the Bidax. Almost every other individual recommended starting small with something like the Bidax Gamma 602. I'll put a link to it directly down below if that is a miner that you're interested in getting into from a trusted reseller in the space, Crypto Miner Bros. Guys, taking baby steps to learn about crypto mining is critical. Don't overextend yourself. Don't make mistakes. Don't go buying these massive miners trying to run them from home. Don't try to go from 0 to 100 in just a few weeks. Take your time, learn as much as you can before you go ahead and invest any capital into home crypto mining or taking the leap into hosting. Guys, I'll leave more useful information directly down below for beginners just like you looking to get into crypto mining in 2026.